With huge amounts of games being daily released across all platforms, it's easy to miss out on some of the better ones being released in the month of May. So here are, in no specific order, the 10 indie games I think you should keep an eye out for in May 2020. First one up is Maneater, a single-player game where you start off as a small shark pup that needs to survive a harsh open world made up from 7 different regions, including resort beaches, bayous, the ocean, and more. As you're eating your way up through the ecosystem, your shark can evolve down multiple possible paths, preparing you to keep encountering diverse enemies, both human and wildlife. Now, Tripwire Interactive, the developers, are promising a Dark Souls influence in the bigger fights with other apex predators. But at this moment, I don't know if Maneater will be more than a fish simulation, but exploring Maneater's 7 regions while Chris Parnell tosses out gags seems like a good time. Maneater is releasing on Epic Games Store, PS4 and Xbox on May 22nd. If you're always in the mood for a sandbox game like me, Hydroneer might be for you. Dig for gold and other resources to evolve your mining capabilities, going from crude tools to hydro-powered machines. The game features a dynamic modular system for building structures and hydro-powered machinery. Create the base of operations from your own design to optimize your work, and with the voxel-based terrain system you can create your own cave networks, quarry pits, or even mud mountains. The developer's Fireball Hangover tries to give you all the freedom you could want in a game like this, and I think it's looking pretty good. But I guess we'll find out when it comes to Steam on the 8th of May. NIMH, the space drone constructor, will be officially exiting early access on May 14th. Now, the game has you crafting drones out of 75 physically interacting parts to survive in an indestructible galaxy with a large assortment of planets and difference in enemies. The game also offers a competitive gameplay where you program your drones to fight in other players' creations in different arenas. I believe the joy of this game is in constantly figuring out which designs work and which do not. But some of the early access reviews mentioned the campaign could use more available missions to play, and if they added more missions to the game with the official release, we don't know yet, but we will when it comes out on May 14th on Steam.
Why are you here?
I'm looking for my daughter.
Next up we have a story-driven psychological horror game called Someday You'll Return. A father is forced by the disappearance of his daughter to return to a place he swore he never would return to. Along the search you can craft items and brew potions, which you'll need as certain darker forces rise up against you. But despite its strong horror elements, the game deals with more intimate concepts of fatherhood, fears, lies, and the refusal to accept one's past. How this ties in with the karmic system that influences the ending to your actions remains to be seen. We'll find out on May 5th. Number 6 we have Rising Lords, which is a medieval turn-based strategy game with card and board game elements. Now, it may seem simplistic at first glance, but the game has deeper gameplay mechanics hidden away. So as you're attempting to rule the kingdom while reacting to 50 different kinds of events and collecting different cards, your opponent may be spreading false information to trick you into making mistakes. During the turn-based battles, you need to keep track of the troop types, morale, terrain, and available cards to get the upper hand. In addition to the campaign, you can play it with up to 4 players online without the need to wait for each individual player to take their turn. Rising Lords enters early access on the 29th of May on Steam, so be sure to give it a look when it does.
That looks like shape-shifting aliens have infiltrated their ship and are impersonating 2 of the crew members.
On the 5th spot we have a free-to-play game called Enemy on Board, which was made by former Riot Games employees. Enemy on Board is an online multiplayer deception combat game where it basically comes down to 2 players play as shape-shifting aliens and the other 4 players play as innocent crew members. The crew members need to figure out who the disguised aliens are and kill them, while the aliens aim to deceive and destroy the crew from within. Whoever's last standing wins. Now, the developers plan to keep releasing new content and updates regularly, and I'd wager they'll keep it free to play with optional microtransactions like League of Legends does. Enemy on Board is coming out on May 8th. Virtuaverse is a cyberpunk point-and-click adventure set in the future not so far away, narrating tales of technomancers, augmented reality, graffiti writers, hacker groups, and so on. Now you play as Nathan, who's an outsider, still refusing to comply to the new system, and geared up with his custom headset, he's among the few that can still switch off his augmented reality and see the reality for what it is. Now the game features beautiful pixel art that looks amazing and aims to tell the story from the perspective of a man who can not only see the world the system wants him to see, but also the world that the system doesn't want him to see. Could be a beautiful story, and I'm excited to see how it turns out when it comes out on May 12, 2020. If the Trump election didn't make it obvious enough, Evil Democracy 1932 surely will show you how democracy can go wrong. As the leader of 30 playable political parties during the interbellum in either Germany, France or England, you strive to be elected and therefore prevent all the rest from winning. Going from legal options like writing articles about competitors, sending promoters or protesting to more illegal actions like ballot rigging and political racketeering. This turn-based simulation of the origin point of democracy will push you as to see how far you'll go to get the win. Evil Democracy 1932 is coming to Steam on May 2nd. Number 2 in our countdown is Haxity. This cyberpunk-themed always online action deck builder has you battling through a procedurally generated city called Haxity. It features a fast-paced combat system where you have to plan, respond, bluff, and adapt to succeed, and it offers tons of customizations so you can fine-tune your fighter to your playstyle. The developers Megapop promise there will be no card packs, loot boxes, or pay-to-win of any kind, which is admittedly one of my biggest turn-offs, as these kinds of things can often ruin great games. I'm curious how this game will turn out when it comes out on May 26th on Steam. Number 1 is Wintermore Tactics Club. Now this is a story about Alicia, who is trying to survive high school with her tactics club intact as she tries to unravel a mystery that haunts the school. You experience the story in a quite frankly beautiful art style that's based on visual novels and I truly love. But when a need for combat arises, the fellow students in your club become a part of a board game style turn-based combat. But these battles don't always suggest it being a battle for life or death, but rather a way to dealing with the personal problems of the characters. Wintermore Tactics Club is shaping up to be one of the best releases of May 2020, but we'll know for sure when it releases on May 5th on Steam. Now I know I said top 10, but I'm actually adding this one as a bonus because including it into the list could be considered cheating, as Observation is already out on PlayStation and the Epic Games Store right now. But with the exclusive rights contract with Epic Games being almost over, Observation is coming to Steam in May.
The other crew. It's just myself and Sam.
Now, the game offers a creepy sci-fi thriller where you play as the AI called Sam by operating the station's control systems, cameras, and tools to assist Emma in discovering what is happening to the station, the vanished crew, and Sam himself. It's made by the team behind the critically acclaimed Stories Untold, and besides that, Observation has already snatched up the award for Best British Game during the BAFTA Awards 2020, even while it was contending with bigger games like Dirt Rally, Planet Zoo, and Total War 3 Kingdoms. Observation will be featured in a separate video on this channel, so be sure to look out for that. Observation is right now available on Epic Games Store and PlayStation, and will become available on the 21st of May 2020 on Steam. There we go, those were some of the best looking indies coming out in May 2020. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below which one caught your eye, and if you liked the video, be sure to click the thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this one. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.